CIA spending $20 million to perform a horrific Frankenstein experiment on a living cat, transforming it into a cyborganic super spy, only to watch it get deleted from the server by a taxi on its very first mission. In the chaotic, high-stakes PvP lobby of the Cold War, traditional espionage just wasn't hacking it anymore. The United States and its allies needed a new meta. They needed something invisible, something completely unsuspected by the enemy. Their answer was to recruit a new type of operative, one with zero moral compass, absolute loyalty, and the perfect natural camouflage. They decided to turn the animal kingdom into a lethal extension of their military arsenal. Today, we are hacking into the classified databases to uncover the most bizarre, unethical, and functionally catastrophic animal bioweapon programs ever conceived. We are breaking down when the government spent $20 million turning cute animals into cybernetic assassins. Do not look away. To understand how high-level intelligence officers authorized these horrifying programs, you have to look at the broken mechanics of the Cold War map. The US and the Soviet Union were locked in a zero-sum game of information. Direct military confrontation meant global nuclear annihilation, so the real battles were fought by spies trying to leak the enemy's secrets. Traditional methods, planting human spies, tapping phone lines, or using clumsy hidden microphones, were failing at an alarming rate. The KGB was too effective at detecting human anomalies. The solution, according to CIA engineers, was to build a spy that was structurally part of the environment, something so utterly commonplace that a KGB guard would never, in 1,000 years, suspect it was a sophisticated listening device. They needed a perfect legacy build that required zero modification to blend in. Their eyes fell upon the domestic house cat. They called it Operation Acoustic Kitty. The CIA did not just want to hide a microphone on a cat, they wanted to build a cyborg. They wanted to fundamentally rewrite the cat's anatomy. The goal was to transform a living, breathing feline into a passive, movable listening post. This wasn't just unethical, it was an engineering nightmare. First, they had to solve the battery problem. This was the 1960s. They couldn't just use lithium-ion batteries. They developed a prototype cybernetic rig powered by an unstable radioactive battery, which was surgically implanted deep inside the cat's stomach to minimize heat detection. Next, they had to turn the cat into a biological antenna. CIA veterinary surgeons spent hours performing delicate, horrific surgeries, running a thin copper wire from the radioactive battery in the stomach through the muscle tissue of the legs and all the way up the cat's tail, which acted as the transmitting antenna. The microphone itself was surgically implanted directly inside the cat's ear canal, making it completely invisible to the naked eye. The transmitter was hidden inside the cat's fur, woven into the hair follicles. But even with the hardware installed, they ran into the ultimate biological glitch. You cannot control a cat. Cats are notoriously defiant of commands. If the target, in this case 2 Soviet diplomats sitting on a park bench near the embassy, moved, the cat might just wander away to chase a pigeon. To patch this bug, the CIA engineers performed more brain-altering surgeries. They wired the cat's sensory input to stimulate the brain, attempting to create a remote-controlled navigation system. If the cat tried to turn left, the CIA could send a neural signal to force it right. For 5 entire years, the CIA subjected this single animal to a rotating cycle of brutal surgeries and neural programming, burning through $20 million of classified taxpayer money. It was the most expensive pet project in human history. Finally, the cyborganic spy was ready for its first field test in Washington, D.C. A CIA surveillance van pulled up near a public park. The cat was released, the mic was hot, and the target diplomats were right where they needed to be. The CIA watched with breathless anticipation as the $20 million cyborganic super spy took its first steps toward the target. It took exactly 3 steps. Then it was brutally deleted from the server. A random D.C. taxi driver, likely on his way to a standard passenger pickup, slammed right into Acoustic Kitty at full speed. The impact was catastrophic. The cat, the $20 million radioactive battery, the neural wires, and the custom microphone were instantly transformed into a messy kinetic explosion of fur and advanced electronics. The entire program was rendered completely unusable in less than 5 seconds. Operation Acoustic Kitty was terminated with extreme prejudice, proving that the planet's random physics engine will always destroy the most expensive military builds. But the CIA wasn't the only ones trying to turn animals into low-tech weapon glitches. During World War II, the British Special Operations Executive, or the SOE, created an explosive tactical build known as the Rats of Mass Destruction. The logic was simple. Rats are disgusting, ubiquitous, and their corpses are usually ignored. They collected hundreds of dead rats, surgically sliced them open, and stuffed the abdominal cavities full of high-grade plastic explosives. The plan was to smuggle these rat bombs into Nazi industrial facilities and coal-fired power plants. The SOE engineers designed a time-delay detonator disguised as a simple piece of rat intestine. A spy would then sneak these explosive rodents into the massive piles of coal waiting to be fed into the furnaces. When the German workers shoveled the coal and the hidden explosive rats into the boiler, the intense heat would detonate the plastic explosive, vaporizing the entire power plant. But this program suffered a hilarious environmental glitch. The British created too many explosive rats. While a shipment of dozens of rat bombs was en route to Germany via a neutral country, the local customs agents discovered the dead, explosive-filled rodents. The German military intelligence absolutely panicked. They believed this was a nationwide biological attack, suspecting that thousands of explosive-filled rats had already been deployed throughout their entire industrial grid. They wasted thousands of critical man-hours training specialized units to inspect every single dead rat found in a coal pile, hunting for tiny British detonators. In the end, the program was a massive strategic victory for the British without ever detonating a single rat, proving that the psychological fear of a bizarre bioweapon glitch is often more effective than the weapon itself. But the absolute peak of these horrific biological anomalies was the Navy's development of tactical dolphins. While the CIA was trying to use cats for surveillance, the Navy was training dolphins to become underwater zero-vis assassinations tools. They created the Swimmer Nullification Program. The ultimate goal was to defend American ports against enemy saboteurs. Dolphins have incredibly advanced natural sonar. They can detect an incoming threat through absolute zero visibility water miles before any human or high-tech sensor can. The US military decided to modify this legacy build with lethal hardware. They constructed specialized harnesses containing massive hyper-pressurized CO2 gas canisters connected to long, incredibly sharp hypodermic needles. They trained the dolphins to locate enemy divers and attack. The dolphin would swim up to the target and literally ram them with their modified snouts. The sharp needle would penetrate the wetsuit and dive deep into the enemy's chest cavity. In a fraction of a second, the CO2 canister would empty its entire contents into the diver's bloodstream. The physics of this decompression are horrifying. The rapid gas expansion would instantly create massive bubbles throughout the diver's circulatory system, causing every capillary to collapse. The internal pressure would build so rapidly that the human body would literally pop like an overinflated balloon. It was an absolutely gruesome, zero-scare tactical build designed to delete human operators from the map with minimum effort. The dolphins were too effective. They were trained to protect their territory at any cost, and their instinct to neutralize threats made them incredibly dangerous. While the Navy officially denied ever deploying these killer dolphins in combat, multiple whistleblowers have claimed that modified dolphins killed over 50 enemy frogmen during the Vietnam War. Operation Acoustic Kitty was terminated. The explosive rats never hit their industrial targets, but the Navy's Dolphins are actually the most successful bioweapon glitch on the list. If you want to uncover the rest of the most brutal tactical anomalies in military history, subscribe to TeamAlphaSix right now. The battlefield is waiting.